Hello guys and welcome back to another Paint.net tutorial. Today I'm going to be doing a bunch of more requests that you guys have been sending in. You know, I've been seeing a lot of popularity rise in the tutorials and I can see that you guys like it very much. I saw some comments with people saying that the tutorials actually helped them improve their YouTube channel and stuff. You know, I'm really happy for them. You know, you're welcome, I guess, and I'm glad my tutorials are actually helping people. I thought people would just watch it and go, you know, that's alright. I think I'm gonna go back to watching YouTube videos on my couch now. Yeah. But yeah, people actually use my advice, so thank you guys for that. Okay, so I'm just gonna get straight on to answering some requests. So the first request is from XEpicDanX, and he is asking, how do you put gradient onto text? Well, not exactly that, but that's basically the premise of his request. Now you can actually do this, and it's not all that difficult, and it looks very good when it's finished. So first what you have to do is start out with a blank layer as always, but now you have to make a new layer by pressing Shift, Control and N. I think I may have told you this before. Okay, so now I believe what you have to do is fill it with white. Now you have to make another layer on top of that, and this is where you have to put your text. So now you have to pick some random fonts. I'm probably going to pick Showcard Gothic because that's just my favourite. I'm going to set it to a large size and I'm going to write yakobelt. Now you have to grab your text and go to your magic wand tool. You can press the shortcut key, which is S. Now you have to highlight each letter, so highlight the letter. You can pick any tolerance you want. Probably 50 is the best because if I go any lower, as you can see, it doesn't highlight all of it. I think 69 is probably one of the best tolerances because it highlights everything it can. Now, once you're highlighted, go to layer 2 and click delete. Now nothing has actually changed, but if I set this to invisible, as you can see the Y is cut out right there. Now make it re-visible again by clicking this little tick and carry on with what we were doing previously. So click layer 3, highlight one of the letters, click layer 2 and delete it, and just carry on like this. And there we go, but we're not finished just yet. Now we have to put in the gradients. Now I'm probably going to go from orange to white for this one, or maybe to a lighter orange. Now you have to select both a secondary and a primary colour for a gradient, and you have to make sure to select the linear gradient. You can select whatever gradient you want, but for the best outcome I suggest you select linear right here. So now you have to click on roughly sort of the middle part of your text and drag it down like this. And there you go, but we're not finished yet. Now we have to click layer 2, go to your magic wand tool and highlight the whiteness. Now we have to click delete on the background layer of your gradients. There we go. Now if I just make this, look at that, it's a gradient filled text, which is very nice looking, but as you can see the holes are still missing. So if I just make this visible again, go to layer 2, highlight the white bits and delete them on here on the bottom layer, and do that with all the O's and B's and stuff. Now you can just simply delete all this because you don't need it anymore. That was just a template. And now here you go, you've got your gradient text. You can do all sorts with this. You can just add a glow effect to it, which is very nice looking. I did that by going to effects and going to photo and glow. That's very nice looking. Okay, so what you can actually do now is improve it even further. Now, I believe one of you asked how you can make text look even more 3D, because last episode I actually showed you how to make text look 3D, but now with this gradient, it actually looks even better. So now I have to go to Layers, and go to Rotate/Zoom. Drag this to the side so you can see what you're doing, and just grab hold of this little globe, as shown in the previous episode, and click OK. Drag it to the side a little bit, you know, make it look a bit 3D. You can actually align it to, you know, any angle that you want, but I just prefer this. Now you have to press Ctrl A on your top layer, click Ctrl C to copy it, and then paste it to the layer below it. Now you have to go to Adjustments, Hue/Saturation, and drag your lightness all the way down. And now, if you drag it to the side, it looks fairly 3D and okay. Okay, so the second request comes from the Hero Sub-Zero. Very nice name. His request is, can you show me how to make a YouTube background with the brand new layout? Now, I know it's quite frustrating that YouTube keeps updating its background graphics and stuff. And you know, you can't always get your hands up on a template, so I'm going to show you how to do that and how to make a fancy background for your channel that advertises what kind of videos you make. So first of all, you have to get your YouTube channel onto your browser. Now, once you are in your channel, in Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or whatever, you have to click this little pencil button right here. Click it, click Edit Channel Art, and now this will take you to the page where you actually upload your channel art, but you have to click How to Create Channel Art first to get the template. So click it, this is going to open up a new tab for you. And if you just scroll down ever so slightly, you can click either of these, but I usually go for the channel art template for fireworks. And this is actually going to save the template onto your computer. Now, I'm going to transfer the template onto Paint.net and get back to you when I'm done. Right, so here we have the channel art. Now, as you can see, this is quite a nice template for you to make your channel art, courtesy of YouTube, which is basically the only good thing that they have done for years. Okay, so these are the templates, and these are the sizes that you can make. So this is going to be visible to everything: desktops, mobile phones, you know, even the smallest mobile phones and stuff, tablets and everything. This is going to be visible to everyone. This area is going to be visible to tablets. This area is going to be visible to desktops, and this is for TV. Now, TV is not very important. Tablets and desktop Macs, massive desktop computers are quite important. So I suggest you only focus on this little rectangle right here, and just sort of leave TV to be, because, well, TV is not the main source for YouTube views. Okay, so let's just make a new layer, and what I like to do is actually make a sort of rectangle. Let me just make it a little bit thicker. Make a sort of rectangle and mark out the area in which I can work. Okay, so now I can make the template invisible. So this is all I need. This is going to be the place for my banner, and if I actually make the template visible again, this is very important because this is going to be visible to everyone. So you have to put all your logos, all your stuff right here. Okay. Right, so make your template invisible. And now say you want to make a channel, I don't know, we have to make a theme for the channel, because I'm going to try and make, sort of give you some ideas on what you can do. So let's imagine your channel is all about Boris Johnson and cooking. Quite an odd theme for the channel, but as you know, Boris Johnson is a running theme in the tutorial, so let's do it. Okay, so first of all, you might want to name your channel. Okay, so let's zoom in and make a logo for the old channel. Okay, so we might want to use some sort of cool fonts, maybe Chinese Rocks RG, perhaps. That sounds good. You could call it Cooking Boris. No. Boris and Boris plus cooking. Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, sounds good to me. Okay, so I'm actually going to start improving the font a little bit and make it look a little bit nice. I'm going to put some nice music in the background so that you guys won't have to sit through it. Okay, so Boris Plus Cooking logo is ready. The Boris Plus Cooking channel is on its way, and you know, it's going to be good. It's going to be all about Boris Johnson and cooking. Okay, so now we've made a logo, and now we're going to make a bit of a background graphic. Okay, so Boris Johnson, what do we think of when we say his name? We think of his face, his lovely bushy hair. So let's get a picture of him into the channel art. Okay, so here is the man himself, and he's actually the wrong way round. As you can see, we're just gonna put him below the template so that he fits perfectly within line, and we're actually gonna flip him round so that it looks like he's sort of peeking out of the side of the logo. So we're gonna put him here, and now we are going to use the lasso tool. Actually, we might cut a bit of him out using the magic wand. I'm not sure how well that's gonna work. It worked a little bit, but I'm going to cut the rest of it out using the lasso tool, and I'm going to speed that up as well. Okay, so here we have Boris Johnson peeking out of the side of the logo at the side of where it says Boris. But now we need to get a sort of background image to symbolise Boris Johnson. Now, Boris Johnson is the Mayor of London, so we might want to get a skyline of London in our background. Okay, so here we have a nice skyline of London, but what we're going to do is we're only going to have half of this into the image, because this is going to be the cooking side of the banner, and this is going to be the Boris Johnson side of the banner. Wow, this tutorial is getting a little bit crazy. Okay, so we're going to make a new layer. Right, now we're going to get our brush to black, and we're going to select the line tool. Now, we are going to draw a nice line between the plus and the Boris. So we're going to draw a nice line here in the new layer. Now we're going to go to the magic wand tool, highlight the right side of it, and go to the London skyline layer and click delete. Now we can rid ourselves of this line. And look at this! The London skyline is behind Boris Johnson's face, looking lovely. But now, we may want to adjust this image to the theme of our channel. Maybe a colour theme, maybe orange, like the logo. So we might want to make a nice orange hue in front of the London skyline. So the way we do this is make a new layer right above the skyline. Now select the paint bucket tool and paint the entire layer to orange. Now we have to go to layers, layer properties, drag it to the side, and lower your opacity bar slightly. Right, now you have to go to your template, go to your magic wand tool, and select the blank side of it, and press delete on your orange layer. And there you go, now we've got the orange London skyline, Boris Plus Cooking, it's all good. But now we have to go to the cooking side of our channel. So I think we want to make it a little bit rustic, you know, maybe get some tomatoes and some rustic wood in the background. So let me just get an image of that. Right, so here I have some pictures of rustic wood. So I'm going to put this exactly behind the London skyline layer so that I don't have to cut it in half again, and it fits perfectly. Okay, so we're also going to put an orange taint around this as well. So we're going to make a new layer, make the entire layer above this orange, and lower the opacity once again using layers and layer properties. And here you go, Boris and cooking. And here we go, there's the wood texture and everything. And if we just make the template invisible, it's already looking fairly good. Look at that, it looks very nice. Okay, so now we're going to add some cooking related things. So maybe a frying pan or some tomatoes. So let me get some pictures of that. Okay, so I actually used a magic wand tool to cut out a picture of a giant tomato. Okay, so I'm going to downsize this a little bit. And put this behind the logo by lowering its layer below the actual logo. Cooking plus Boris. So I'm just going to put this tomato right here. Right, so I've got the picture of this tomato, but I might want to adjust this to the theme of the channel as well. I might want to make it glow slightly to highlight it. So the way you do this is make a layer below it. Now you have to select your tomato and copy it to the layer below it. Go to Adjustments, go to Hue/Saturation, and lower your lightness all the way down. Keep on this layer and fill it with red. And here you go. Once you're done, go to Effects, go to Blurs and Gaussian Blur, and make it glow by dragging the radius up ever so slightly. That's going to load up. And here you go, you've got a glowing tomato next to Boris and cooking. Okay, so now if you actually make the old template invisible, let me just find the template. Here we go. It's looking very nice indeed. This is a very sort of basic thing that I decided to make for you guys, just to show you what kind of things you can do with your channel. And, you know, as a final touch, I might just want to, you know, make a little slogan below the actual logo, make it orange according to the old theme, and keep with the font that we used for the logo, and maybe make a little slogan to attract attention. So, cooking, Boris Johnson. What else do you need? And sort of drag it to the middle roughly, and go to Effects, Photo Glow, and drag your radius up and your brightness down to get this effect. And here you go. Boris plus cooking. Cooking, Boris Johnson, what else do you need? Now I'm actually going to showcase how this looks in the actual YouTube one channel design. Okay, so the next, and I believe it is the final request, comes from Blondite Gaming and Mega Bold Gaming as well. Now they both asked for roughly the same kind of thing, and I in fact actually realised due to these requests that I didn't show you a lot of tools in enough detail that's, you know, adequate for you guys to be able to use. So I'm just going to show you some of these tools in a little bit more detail. Right, so first of all, I'm going to go over to the Image tab. Now, there are two things here, resize and canvas size. Now, these look like roughly the same things, but they are not. And let me show you why. Right, so here I have an image of my cartoon self. Now, if I go to Image and click Resize and type in I don't know, a random sequence of numbers, 500 and, I don't know, 240, yeah, I look like Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones, but, well, I'm a more comical version. However, you can use this to resize your image, like your actual image. But, on the other hand, if you go to Image and go to Canvas size and resize that to, I don't know, 560 times 760, it only resizes your canvas. So there you go, that was the Image tab. Well, only a little bit of it. If you go to flip horizontally, it literally says, whoa, oh my god. Wow, I think I'm going to undo that very quickly before that gets out. If you flip it vertically, it just goes upside down like I'm like Batman or something. Rotation tools are quite useless. I know I sound quite arrogant in saying this, but it is actually useless because you can actually do this in another way, in a more precise way. If you select your image and go to Move Selected Pixels, drag it to, wrong layer, drag it to roughly the middle, and now I can't actually show you this on screen, but I'll have a little icon pop up. You actually have to hold down your right mouse button and drag it. And as you can see, that actually rotates your image manually, and you don't have to go to all the efforts of just sort of rotating it using guidelines, and that just doesn't look very good at all, does it? So next up is, we're still in Image, but now we're in the Flatten tool. Now this is very, very useful. So, you know, as you can see, I flatten it there. You know, if you got, let's just make loads of layers. If you got loads of layers and you just want to clear yourself up, start fresh, you can go to Image and go to Flatten, and that's going to merge all your layers together, and they're not going to be able to move independent of each other. They're all going to become one big image. Right, now, the Layers tab, which is very, very important. if you want to add a new layer, you can just click this, but you can also do this by going to Shift, Control, and N. You also have these exact same tools here. You can also delete the layer, of course, and that deletes it. You can also duplicate the layer, so make 2 of it, and as you can see, if I drag it now, look at that, I'm multiplying, look at this. Whee! And yeah, you can just, this is actually just endless. Also, a good feature of Paint.net is the fact that you can undo everything infinitely. There's no limit to the amount of times you can undo everything, which is really good, in case, you know, you do a lot of steps and you want to return to, you know, a fresh start, maybe. Okay, next up is merge layer down. This actually, if you got loads of layers, as I said before, you can just click this button and just merge one layer down at a time, in case you want to be selective. You can also flip it horizontally, as I showed you here. This flips the entire image, so every single layer, but if you go on the layers tab, this only flips the actual layer. So this flips all the layers, this flips one layer. But as I said previously, if you drag it across and click move selected pixels and hold down your right mouse button, you can just rotate it, and that that looks very odd. I'm gonna stop that now. Okay, so I'm gonna deselect this. This is very important as well, in case you haven't noticed. Now I'm gonna go to the rotate/zoom tab. So if you go here, you've got a rotation tool, which you can also do by holding down the right mouse button, as I spent ages explaining. But you also have this tool here. So if I just get this to one layer and go to rotate/zoom again, you also have this little globe which allows you to move your little character 3-dimensionally. This is very useful. Also, you can add precise values into this. So I don't know, if I add 56, it's going to rotate it by in a 56 degree angle. You also have pan here, which allows you to move your figure, but you can just do that with move selected pixels. That's good. You also have this zoom thing, which you can zoom stuff in with. This is quite useful, you know, in case you're lazy and just want to, you know, click and drag, because if you just highlight it and enlarge it with the move selected pixels tool, you can sometimes go a little bit out of ratio and out of proportion. You can actually solve this by holding down shift, and that doesn't actually change the aspect ratio of the image. It just keeps it the same size. So just hold down shift and that will help you. You can also use shift to make a perfect square, which I haven't told you about. So if you go to the square tool and hold down shift, it's going to make you a perfect square with equal measurements on each side. Another quite important thing is, back in my first tutorial I said that, well, I claimed that the pencil tool was useless, and I'm not taking it back, because its purpose is actually taken up by the paintbrush. As you can see, the pencil tool takes up 1 pixel. You can actually do this with the brush tool. If you select the brush tool and set it to 1 and draw a line, it's still not going to be 1 pixel, but if you undo this and go to this little thing and select initial anti-aliasing disabled, it makes a 1 pixel line exactly like the pencil tool. So as you can see, you can just do things with the paintbrush tool that you can also do with the pencil tool, so it's not really needed. And now finally, going back to the layers tab, this is the layer properties tab, which is quite good. You can actually make a new layer, and I don't know, make it all black, make a giant black line right here. And if you hold on, I just got anti-aliasing off still. If you go back to layers and go to layer properties and go to the opacity tab, you can actually make it slightly invisible. Right, so I hope that helped. You guys, I'm really happy to take requests from anyone, basically, and I'm gonna try to answer every single one of them. I know it's fairly ambitious, because I have been getting a lot of requests as of lately, but I'm gonna try. my best. So if you want to make a request, just comment down below in the comment section, you know, tell me, you know, I want to know how to do this, I want to know how to do that, because I'm really happy to answer it, and you know, I know a lot about paint.net. So if you want to make a request, do so now, and I shall see you next time, and your request might be in the next video. So that's it for this episode. Goodbye.